Hello, welcome to a battle report between Mortenebra and eMagnus. His tie list, bad seeds, 50 points, overrun scenario. Krieg's deployment. Okay, this is my Mortenebra army. Starting on the right flank, we have a Siren, and then we have a Slayer, and another Siren, another Slayer, my Bile Trials. Just behind them is Madeline and Derilis. With the first Helldiver, Mortenebra herself. Just behind Mortenebra is Gelak, and to the left of Mortenebra is Gorman. Then there's a Helldiver. Blood Gorges are holding down the left flank, and on the far left is Deathjack. He's also advanced deployed in the forest. My plan was to have Deathjack go up on the left flank, and Blood Gorges would try and hold the middle between the forest and the hill, and the Slayers will go and try to hold the hill, maybe flank up. Wild Trials will go where they are needed to clear out infantry, and the Helldivers would go for Magnus. Mortenebra would first try to go for the cover at the line obstacle, and then maybe stand at the hill or behind the hill. I don't know. That was the plan here. Okay, the mercenary deployment. Yeah, this is my opponent's mercenary army. It's eMagnus bad seeds list. A lot of Signar units in it, a lot of shooting, and sword knights that have a flank with friendly faction warjacks. Also, Saxon Auric brings some ambush stuff. Okay, starting from the top, there's a Renegade, which is under Magnus. And then there's some sword knights from one of the sword knight units. Sentinel, which are run by the sword knights. More sword knights, same unit. And they're UA. And a mule, who's also run by the sword knights. Bylock is advanced deployed. And then there's Magnus, Defender, run by him. A Renegade, run by him. Inquisitor dude, I don't remember his name. And Rangers in the forest. Okay, Krieg's turn 1. So I start with giving Deathjack one more focus, and then the plan is to try to get everything upfield, basically. So most things will running or going full out. Mortenebra will probably camp as much focus as possible, so she will take a shot in the face first turn. Yeah. So Deathjack is one more focus. I move the Helldivers up, they burrow. The Sirens go up, power boost Slayers, Slayers run up. Deathjack has Spectral Steels on himself and goes into the forest. Wild Trials run up, Madeline runs up, try to catch as many as possible in her command. The Blood Gorges run up to try to get in position. Mortenebra goes behind the line of school, camps 6 focus. And Gorman goes up, makes a cloud to cover Mortenebra. And that's basically how it looks at my end of turn 1. Deathjack is in pretty good position, I think. He has Spectral Steel, so that means that he has +2 armor and he's ghostly. Hopefully nothing will catch Madeline where she is, so when the Rangers run up, I can get a 3-inch free move on one of my Bile Trials. And also hopefully nothing tries to blast Mortenebra to bits. There can be some 6 shooting from Mercs, and especially Signar and Mercs. So yeah. And also the release is down on the right flank behind the Sirens to potentially give out overrun to one of the Slayers. Okay, Mercenaries turn 1. So he starts by giving focus to the Defender and the Renegade. I think they get 1 each. Then the Sword Knights Pronto, Sentinel and Mule, and run. Okay, and he tries to take out something with Mule. And of course it scatters on Madeline, one of the Bantrolls, and yeah, they die. No surprise. Okay, one of the Rangers go up to target fire, or whatever it's called. Sentinel goes up and tries to shoot at the Blood Gorgers. I failed 2 tough checks and off they go. Some more moving around. Defender tries to shoot Slayer, makes it. It hits, I think it takes out 1.5 column. Yeah, Magnus is standing behind the mule. Yeah, and the Renegade runs up, and Inquisitor runs. That's it. This is how it looks in my opponent's first turn. Sentinel is quite far forward. It could have done more damage, but still, it took out 2 trolls. Of course, the mule managed to take out Madeline, so I don't get my free move. The Rangers have sent a guy forward, so he's standing basically in front of my second Slayer in the middle of the field, on top of the hill. Probably next turn Magnus will feed, so I will either have to try to be upfield and in the objective, or stay back. So I think I will try to use the one Ranger to get an overrun move on the Death Jack. So he will be into the Sword Knights or the Sentinel. Don't know if that will be good for him, but we will try. Trolls will probably charge the Sentinel and try to take him out. Okay, Crix, turn 2. So, in the maintenance phase now, my Burrowers is getting up, and this is what makes these little jacks so incredibly good, because they can come up, or they come up within 3 inches of the burrow marker, facing any direction, and then they can move their 5 inches after that and burrow again. So you can't really touch these little jacks, and they will just burrow up to your caster, and then you suddenly have 2 power 13 jacks in your back arc. Okay, so I give out focus to the Death Jack, because I probably want him to trample up into the Sword Knights. The Siren also gets focus, so I remember that they can give out focus. So here we go, Death Jack gets focus. Telldivers move forward and burrow. Okay, Derlis goes up, puts overrun on the Slayer. Baltrials runs up behind the hill, and one Siren moves out and power boosts the Slayer. Mortenebra moves, puts on terminal velocity, and repairs the Jack. And then the Jack charges the Ranger and kills it. Overrun moves and the Death Jack up. He's still in terminal velocity range. Okay, so now the Blood Gorges charges the Sentinel, and the rest of them will block, so nothing can get through. I do 2 columns of damage, I think, in this roll. 2 poor rolls. Okay. And Gelag runs up on the hill, and now the Death Jack tramples in between the Sword Knights, and since it's under terminal velocity, it's free, and he gets boosted attacks against living, so he just eats the Sword Knights. Okay, a Slayer runs up on the hill, and a Siren runs up on the hill. Gorman goes and puts the cloud in front of Mortenebra in case something gets through the trolls. Okay, this is how it looks at the end of my turn 2. It's pretty good. I'm expecting a feat on my opponent's turn, so I haven't moved everything up. Hopefully Magnus won't go too far forward, or if he does, I will be able to catch him with the Helldivers. And Death Jack will probably get charged in the next turn by Sword Knights, and they will get flank, because there's both a renegade and a sentinel thinking that can get into melee range with it. So he will take a huge amount of damage next turn. The sword knights have power 12 and 4 dices on the charge, so I'm not expecting him to survive, but at least my opponent has to deal with him. Okay, mercenaries. Turn 2. So first thing that happens is that he's giving out focus. He's giving 2 focus to the renegade and 1 focus to the ironclad, and then Saxon Oryx ambush is coming on the sides. Saxon Oryx is coming on the right flank, and Sword Knights are coming on the left flank. Okay, and then the Rangers move up and they shoot at the Slayers, do a little bit of damage. Okay, and then Kyle Bilo shoots some trolls. Master Gunner moves up, Renegade shoot Deathjack, does a little bit of damage. Expected more. So now my opponent is not entirely sure which activation he should do first. He runs Pronto with the Sword Knights, he's measuring his control area, and then he takes back the Pronto, and instead he moves the Sentinel, and then I do a free strike where I do some damage on it. Then he's hitting Deathjack with it, and then he does Pronto. The Sword Knights, they charge. They have to charge around the Renegades, and a few of them charge the Trolls. And now he starts hitting. He does quite a bit of damage, but I was expecting more. There's some poor rolling. And then the flanking Sword Knights try to charge, but it's too far. So the Deathjack should be dead, but he's not. Muller shoots and does nothing, scatters, and now he really wants to kill a Deathjack. So Renegade moves and tries to shoot the Deathjack, shoots and does some damage. All of his guys are now knocked down, and I'm knocked down, and he killed one of his own guys, so Deathjack gets the soul. Yeah. Then he feeds, and Saxon Oryx is charging up and kills the Siren. Okay, this leaves me with Deathjack still alive, which is quite incredible. He has 4 boxes left, 2 Cortex and 1 right arm. And the Ironclad also took a shot at him at some point, or just after this. And he got just 1 box even though he boosted. So there was some really poor rolling from my opponent. He has now feated, so most of my trolls and maybe the forward Siren on the hill can't move up towards his table edge or the left table edge. Also the Deathjack can't move, but he doesn't really want to move, he just wants to eat all of the Sword Knights now standing around him. Yeah, so Crick's turn 3. Okay, so I get 5 or 6 focus because of the souls on Deathjack. I just want to stand up with him, and now we are trying to figure out who's affected by defeat and not. So there's a lot of measuring about control areas. And then my Helldivers get up. And now I misunderstand his feat, so I think I can go into it. And then I give 3 focus to each of the Slayers. My opponent is wondering if they are both operational after he has been shooting them. And they have about taken 1.5 column each, and no systems are down on them. And now I misunderstand my opponent's feat, so I think that I can move my Helldivers even though they are in the eMagnus control area. But his feat is of course on beginning of activation for the models in his control area, so that means that the Helldivers are affected. And the plan now is to charge a Slayer into each of his heavy jacks, one into Mule and one into Ironclad, and hopefully trash them. Yeah, then Deathjack will eat Sword Knights and repair himself, and Battle Trials will have to take care of Saxonoric and the Rangers. Okay, here we go. So we start with the Deathjack. He's just eating his way through knockdown Sword Knights, no problems, and repairing system as it goes. So first thing he repairs is his other hand, so he gets 360. And he kills the Sentinel as well when he's at it. Okay, Gelak moves backwards. And then my Slayer moves up and starts hitting the Mule. Here I do quite a bit of damage, but just not enough. He's left with like 4 boxes or something, which is a little bit disappointing. My other Slayer goes in the Ironclad and does about 2/3 of his grid in damage. So I didn't manage to kill either of his jacks, so most likely both of my Slayers are dead next turn. The Siren, yeah, she sprays the 2 Rangers and put corrosion on the Mule. Battle Trials move up and they explode. One explodes and takes out the Rangers and puts corrosion on mine, and the other one explodes and doesn't kill Saxonoric, and then one tries to spray some of his Sword Knights. So I actually managed to kill one Sword Knight with a spray. Okay, and now I'm wondering what I should do about Saxonoric. So I move Mortenebra up on the hill, and I move Derilis in front of Saxonoric and try to... Yeah, Derilis tries to hit him with a spell, which doesn't work. And then the Trolls, they move backwards, the ones that are affected from Magnus's feat, and the 2 that are not, one charge the Sword Knight, and one just goes and tries to block the other Sword Knights. Try to hit the Sword Knight with a Troll, and he missed both swings. So this round turned out to be a little bit worse than I wanted it to be. I wanted to have both of his heavies down. I was already on the plus side with the Deathjack still being operational, so he just munched through the entire remaining Sword Knight unit, almost. And now he has like over 3/4 of his boxes back from using all the souls to heal back up. And I have a problem in Saxonoric in the back behind my caster, so I'll have to try to deal with him some way. But we'll see what he does in his turn now. I don't expect my Slayers to live after this, but I still have my 2 Helldivers, and hopefully next turn I will be able to assassinate Magnus with either both of them or one of them. We'll see how it turns out. Mercenaries, turn 3. Okay, so we are doing corrosion rolls, and Magnus is giving out focus, some to the Renegades and some to the Ironclad. Okay, and then we start with the Inquisitor dude. He does his Electro Leap up and kills my 2 remaining Battle Trials. And then he tries to leap over to the Siren, but he doesn't do enough damage. Then the Renegade hits the Deathjack, and the Sword Knights charge, and they kill him. No wonder there. Okay, and then it's the Mule's turn to try to kill my Slayers, so he moves them around a little bit. It's Slayer, severely cripples him, and then the renegade behind moves up and does the death strike on my second slayer. And now the ironclad or defender activates with 2 focus, easily scraps my remaining slayer. So now I have no heavies left. Okay. Saxon Auric, he moves up to kill Darylis, charges up. He does 4 damage, incredibly enough. Darylis survives. Okay, and then he moves Magnus out of the way. He's afraid of my Helldivers. Maybe I will get him next time. So this is looking good, or going good. But all of my heavies are dead, but I still have my Helldivers. They're in pretty good position. I think I might be able to get to Magnus if I use an overrun on one of them. So it all depends on if I can get the release free from Saxon Auric in my next turn. So Crix, turn 4. Okay, so now there's a lot of thinking. I have the chance to assassinate eMagnus. I just have to free the release so he can put overrun on one of my Helldivers. So I can get my other Helldiver to overrun into a position so it can charge Magnus. I also need to place the Helldivers correctly in my maintenance phase. So I will probably try to take out Auric with Gerlach, hopefully. And I will try to kill the mule to trigger overrun, and then I will have Magnus, hopefully, again. 4 terminal velocity attacks from a Helldiver under Mortenebra's feet with all rerolls should have him. Okay, so here we go. Thinking a little bit about how to place the Helldivers. One Helldiver is going to go behind the Inquisitor dude, so it can get in a position around his infantry, and that other one is going to go in position in front of the mule, so you can get the charge attack on that. Then we have to deal with Saxon Auric, and also giving out focus. Of course, I'm giving 3 to the front one, and nothing to the other guy. Saxon Auric charges down, or moves down, and if I remember correctly, he fluffs his roll. So now I have a problem. Thinking over it, and what I end up doing in the end is I use the Siren Seduction to move Saxon Auric out of the release melee range, so the release can go away and cast overrun on my Helldiver. So he manages to do that, and now the plans to go. Mortenebra goes, casts terminal velocity and feats. The Helldiver charges the Slayer, and charges the mule, sorry, and kills it. Overrun's effect, the Helldiver moves around the infantry and charges Magnus behind the hut. So I roll ridiculous on damage, 14 first, and then the second roll does it. So I think I roll like 12 on this, another ridiculous roll, but that's it. Only spent 1 focus actually buying attacks on the Helldiver. It looked pretty black there when I lost all my heavies, but the Helldivers saves the day. My opponent is pretty good player as well, although we later figure out that his list is not correct, because the Sword Knights, they can't have the Sentinel marshaled, so it's only Magnus that can have Signal Jacks in his battle group. But it was a fun game. This is the first time I played with Mortenebra in a long time, and my list seemed to work pretty okay. Thank you for listening, if you're still there, and I hope to do more of these battle reports soon, so stay tuned.